everyone. I thought for once I would just show my face. So for those of you that don't know me or haven't seen any of my videos before, I'm Michelle, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that's been subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. I can't believe that I'm into the 400s now, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to do a little painting for you today that you can follow along with, and it's really I suppose you might call it some berries in snow. So we're going to have a go at that. So I'm going to turn my camera back around again and put my reading glasses on. But yes, thank you everyone for being so kind to subscribe and follow me on YouTube. So let's have a little look at the picture that we're going to use today, which I found on Unsplash, and it just said in collaboration with Simon Marge, however you pronounce that. I'm so sorry if I've said it wrong. I will put a link to this picture in the description below, but you can see it's a fairly sort of muted picture there with kind of a snowy background, and then you've got these lovely branches, and if you look, they're all covered in frosty snow, and our little berries to just giving a real Christmassy feel. So that's what I'm going to be having a go at today. I'm just going to move that where I can see it for reference. I've just used a little piece of watercolour paper here to see whether the colours that I've picked out are going to be okay. Actually, those colours look a little bit muted on screen, but anyway. So what have we got? We have got Michael Harding's Cosmic Blue that I'm going to use in the background, but I might add some white into that, so it'll be bleed proof white. I'm using Michael Harding's Sepia, and then I've used, what was this, Scarlet Lake, Michael Harding's Scarlet Lake, but I added in a little bit of Holbein's Brilliant Rose and mixed the two together, and I'll probably be using combinations of to get those berries. So you could use any sepia. You could probably use maybe like an alizarin crimson, maybe, if you wanted to, and mix that with a red. And then I suppose in the background there, I'm trying to think what other colours might be a little bit like Cosmic Blue. I suppose if you really watered down Payne's Grey that had got quite a lot of blue in it, some are more blue than others, that might work as well, just to give you some other options. But yes, I think I'm going to go with that as my colourway today. So let's see about getting all of this in screen. And at the moment I'm causing a shadow, I can see that, but I won't be when I'm sat down painting. So there we go. This is watercolour paper. It is cold press, and it is 300 GSM. So that's what I'm using to paint on, and I have put some tape around the edge because I want to get a bit of a border. And I'm also, because this is a big sketchbook, I'm also going to see if I can get this clip there. That's it, so that it keeps it all together for me, because I might want to do some tilting and things. Right, so we are, if I line that up a bit better, then I might be able to remember, and then go up a bit, like so. Hopefully that will be all right. So to start off with, I'm going to get some clean water, because where I've been playing I've got dirty water. So let's get some clean water, and I want quite a big brush initially. You could probably even go bigger than this. I'm just being lazy. I'm using a size 12 round, but I've also got some water in a fine mist water sprayer here, because I want to wet my paper, and I think this will probably be quicker. So that's what I'm going to do to get my paper wet. And of course you need to tilt it up to see and make sure that all of it has got a shine on it. Depending on the temperature in your room, it will dry out quicker if it's warmer. So sadly my room is not very warm. There we go. So I've now got a nice wet background there, and I'm going to start using my cosmic blue here. So let's get this cosmic blue background in, and I want it to be a bit darker at the bottom, and actually I probably want my page the other way round, don't I? Let's think about this. No, it'll be fine. We'll leave it like this. Yeah, I want it to be darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. And I want a very light bit over here. So I'm probably not going to do too much with the cosmic blue. On this side here. I just want it to kind of fade out a bit over there, and I'm just going to tip it a bit so that it just kind of moves. Okay, there we go. So, I mean, this hasn't really got much of a background at all. If you look, I'm just giving it some kind of a background. What I also want to get in are these very faint twigs and branches that are in the background. So while it is still wet, and because I don't want them to be very defined, I'm going to use this little brush, which is, it's like a rigger. It's just a little rigger brush. And I'm going to use some of my sepia now. Let's pop a bit in there like that. That makes it a bit easier. And it is fairly watered down, I have to say. And I just want to get some of these branches moving about here. That will be in the background. Crossing everywhere. So I think you can get the idea there. There we go. So now we've got some branches in the background. I might even, it's you can't really see it. Oh, yes, you can actually. Can you see the very faint berries in the background there? I'm going to use a little bit of a mixture of the Scarlet Lake and which is Michael Harding's, and the Holbein Bright Rose, just to get a much deeper colour. In fact, I might even add the tiniest bit. Let's see what happens. The tiniest bit of Cosmic Blue to see if we get more purpley. Oh, yes, we do. Okay, look at that. So that is the Scarlet Lake with the Holbein Bright Rose, and then a little bit of the Cosmic Blue in there. Right, now I need this to be fairly watery, but I just want to get the impression of a few berries in the background there, like so. Okay, so I think we can probably call that step 1, and that then needs to dry. So I'm just going to, oh, have I come out of, there we go. So yes, step 1, I'm just going to pause and come back as quickly as I can and dry this. Okay, so that is pretty much dry, and I've just found this instrument that I got off of Amazon. It just got lots of different circles on it. So I'm going to use quite a stiff brush if I can find one. Let's see, maybe I can use that. That's quite a stiff brush, because I want to do what they call that bouquet or effect, where we take the paper, we make it wet with our circle, and then we blot that, and it just gives the faint idea of snowflakes in the background. Okay, there we go. They probably won't show up too much other than where we've got this darker colour, but I'm hoping that they will add to the overall effect there. I think you can see that one a bit better. Those are quite faint, that you might not be able to see that I can. So it's just water and a fairly stiff brush, because we're trying to remove the paint in a circle shape. And then we just use our cloth to, there we go. Let's maybe overlap that a little bit with a smaller one, like so, and then we'll have one that's kind of that size. I mean, to be honest, you don't have to have this. You could just go round in a circle. Let me see if I can show you that. So, probably would need a round brush to do that with. So just with your water, you can make a circle. Like so. It's not quite as effective, I don't think, as using these. Let's put a big one somewhere. Where should we put the big one? There. So we're kind of getting the impression then of, and of course as we go further up, they're probably going to be smaller. It really works well if you've got quite a hard bristled brush. There we go, there's one up there. Let's see if we can get, what size shall we have? Maybe a small one there. But this can be quite good fun, making these little, it's almost like dappled light, I suppose, or it could be snowflakes, or quite often camera lenses kind of give this dappled effect, I think. So we've just got, I don't want to go overboard with that, but we've got a little bit there going on. Let's just pop that to one side. So next I want to get my next layer of twigs and branches in. I suppose we'll call this like the middle layer, and because this is more, it's dry now as opposed to wet, they should come out more defined. So let's go back to our sepia and see if we can get a little bit more going on down here, for example. So this still isn't a particularly thick mixture, but obviously it's going on over as a next layer. So it's, I've got slightly more colour in it than I did with the first layer, plus the first layer was going into wet, so it will diffuse a little bit more anyway. Okay, so that I think will be alright for our second layer. We don't want to get too precious about anything, because for me the whole idea is just immersing myself, having fun, playing. It's not about doing things perfectly, it's about doing things mindfully and enjoying myself, so as that I, for a short while, I'm not needing to worry about anything really. I don't know whether to do any more berries or not. I don't think I will. I think I'm just going to let that dry and then come in with my top layer of branches and twigs. So I'm just going to dry this off next. Okay then, let's get some of these bigger twigs in. Let's use a bigger brush. So instead of that little rigger, I'm going to use my size 8 round. And I'm now going to make my sepia a little bit more pigmented and creamier, less water to it. And I want one quite big branch going all the way up, because we've got one going up and one kind of bending round. So we'll get those in there. We've got one coming up here, like so. And let's see what else we've got. We've got bits coming off there. Let's see. We need some bits to come off. we can see that we are starting to get, we've got these layers going on now. So you can just about still see the background ones, wet into wet, then second layer here, and then even darker third layer. So that's kind of what I was aiming for. Of course, at the moment we haven't got any snow on anything, but we will get there. Let's have something just going round like that, I think, just to add a bit to it. Okay, so we now have some more twigs there. Let's let that dry and get some berries in. So I'm just going to dry this. Right, so I've just dried those darker twigs off, and now I am going to pop some of these little berries in. So let's have a little look, and then once I've put these little berries in, I will put some stalks on them. But they are kind of this kind of shape, and that one's kind of hiding behind maybe. So these aren't round, these are more oval, these particular berries. I don't know what kind of berries they are. And I will obviously add more detail to these berries later. I just want to, at the moment, get their kind of shapes in. Need some down here, and they've actually got these little, I might do that with like a coloured pencil, they've got a little all stalky bit on the end almost. We've got a couple there. It's always difficult trying to work out where to put your berries, isn't it? Or maybe that isn't difficult for you, I don't know. These ones up here look a lot darker, so I'm going to add some of that cosmic blue into my mix and make these up here much darker. And maybe smaller because they're further away. Yeah, so we can see that these are a bit more muted, a bit more in the background. Okay, I don't want to go berserk, but what I do want is a few splatters. I don't want everything to look perfect, so we're just going to put a few splatters in, and then down here we'll put a few splatters there. We don't have to define everything, the eye will do it for us. So yet again, drying off time. Right, are we still in? Or I keep moving it. No, there we go. Let's go down a bit. There. Right. So, whilst off camera, I tested a couple of Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils. One is, where are we? A brown, covered in ink from the other day. What brown is this? It's called Carmine Lake, actually. It's this one here. And then I've pulled out, where's this one? Crimson Aubergine, which is this one here. So I've pulled out a couple of pencils that I'm going to play with. Plus I've got my white Uniball Signo. It says broad. I think it's probably like a 0.7. And my bleed proof, where are we? Bleed proof white. And I'm now going to get some definition in here. So I'm going to start with the Carmine Lake, because if we look at this picture here, we've got all these little spikes sticking out of these little twiggy branches. So I need to get some of these little twiggy bits in. So that we get the impression of these spiky little edges everywhere. I'm just pressing a lot lighter on the fainter branches and then pressing harder on my darker branches, if that makes some sense to you, I hope. So we can start to see that spikiness coming through now, can't we? And depending on how dark the branch is, that's how much pressure I'm putting on, if you see what I mean. So not much pressure for the branches that are very faint. More pressure for the branches that are darker. But we're getting that real spiky effect now, I think. I'm not meticulously, you can see I'm not meticulously doing every one. Yet again, we don't need to. Yeah, let me just stand back from that a minute and just, yes, I think that's definitely given it some of that kind of spiky effect. What I also want to do is maybe darken one side. If our light is coming this way, then on the right hand side everything is going to be a bit darker. So I'm just going to darken this edge on the branches a bit. And I prefer to do all of this fiddly stuff with pencils rather than my paint. By all means, use your paint if you wish to. I quite like the effect that you get with the pencils because it also seems to add some texture. How light's coming there, and maybe under here will be a bit darker, so that we get. I need to do this one. I did sharpen these luminance pencils. For those of you that are interested, this is where I keep my couple of pencil sharpeners, and I just picked this up at a little vintagey antique shop, basically, for about £3 or £4. So it's quite cute to keep my pencil sharpeners in. Let's go along the bottom of this one. So that we're definitely getting there and there where it crosses over. There, we're getting a little bit more of a 3D effect from that. Right, now I need to do something with these berries, I think, and some of them probably need to show a little bit of a stalk. And I'm going to use now the, what was this, the Crimson Aubergine, to just give a bit more definition and variance of colour onto these berries. I hope this bit isn't too boring for people. I'm not colouring in the whole of the berries, I'm just doing some of it so that it's not just all one plain colour. Nothing is all one plain colour really, is it? And we might actually go, I think there's a bit of a better shape. Okay, so now, oh, missed one. Like so, and then out of the bottom of these berries, there's like little very, very dark green stalks. So, can I find a very, very dark green? Let's have a look. Oh, what are you? Dark phthalo green. Right. Dark is that going to be? How dark can I get it? Yes, I think that's going to be okay. It's always quite handy to have your little bit of paper where you've maybe tried some of your colours out. I just want to get these little stalky bits in now. Almost like little V's, upside down V's, mind you. So we want to give the impression of those little V's. Coming out, right, okay, I might have to come down a bit for you to be able to see that maybe. There we go, moving over a bit. I'll bring it up higher in a moment. And now I want to add some white along all of these branches, and I'm even going to add some white spiky bits, because all of these branches are kind of covered in this frost or snow even. So we need to get some of that in now. And I'm going to use this pen before I use the bleed proof white. Just adding in some of those little spiky bits as well, so as we start to get the snowy bits on. And it's just kind of skipping over rather than completely filling in. Okay, we definitely need some on here. And we've got some on these berries, so I'm just gonna get some of that onto these berries as well. So hopefully you're getting the gist of what it is that I'm doing here. So that we've got that, the idea of the snow landing on these branches. And obviously I'm not trying to make my picture a photo of my reference picture. I'm just using that for inspiration, that's all. Okay. Let's get our bleed proof white out. And I think we'll use this one. I'm going to start by doing some splats and then see what else I need to do. And try and make them smaller, she says, if I can, and then bigger down the bottom here. This is quite a delicate little picture, really. And I wonder whether to just see if I can get a bit more white in up here, if I can blend it, so that we've really got that white bit at the on this side. Just want to try and blend that in with some water now. Yeah, I think that's just whitened that corner, which then makes that a lot brighter compared to this corner. And I think I like that a lot better. Now then, let's just step back again and see if I want to do anything else, or I think that's just a really lovely, delicate picture as is. Let's not try and go too berserk. Okay, so what I will do is I will take off my masking tape. Let's try and do this so as it doesn't tear, which isn't always possible. Oh, one piece. Now then, which bit might we do next? This bit? Let's see. Oh, you can't see that bit, can you? Let's come up again while I'm taking this off. So I'm trying to pull it at an angle because it does seem to come off better when you do it at an angle. Yes. Not doing too badly at all this time. Last piece, here we go. There, lovely. That actually came off okay today. So, I'm going to bring this up a bit closer for you so that you can see a little bit more of the detail there. You can just see that bokeh effect. I think that's what you call it anyway. Just very faintly. But really it's the, I'm going to step back, it's the layering that gives you such a nice little effect here. So yes, there's our reference picture. This is my version of that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm trying to think what I've got coming up next. Oh, I've got a new palette for all of my handmade watercolours, which I will share with you and maybe do a little painting with those. Let me know if there is anything in particular that you would like to see, and I'm very happy to reply to your comments and take them on board. Please do keep subscribing. Please do keep watching. I just need to get to 500 subscribers, and I'm just at the beginning of the 400s at the moment, and I think I'm about 2,000 out of the 3,000 watch hours. So yeah, I'm really hoping to grow this channel, but doing what it is that you would like to see, really. Or whether perhaps the mixture that I'm doing is okay. Just let me know. I'm actually really enjoying doing this. It's I find it quite relaxing. I find it quite mindful, and I have quite a not stressful, but job where I have to concentrate as a psychotherapist a lot. And doing something like this just really takes my mind off of things. So when I've got a gap somewhere, some time to spare, doing something like this just really helps me balance my life a little bit better. I think I maybe could have gone a bit darker down here now that I look at it, but for a first attempt, and as we know, quite often we need to do more than one attempt before we get what we really like. But I don't think that's too bad as a first go. Have fun, have a try yourself, and hopefully I will see you next time.